allow you yourself to feel what that would feel like. What would it feel like to have that kind of abundance, like private jets and yachts and whatever? You might not be into those things, but what would that look like for you? What's up, Jennifer? Great to see you.
Yeah, you too. So I'm having some work done in my house. They just started making noise.
Okay. I get it. We all work from home these days, right? It is what it
Yeah.
is.
So
Yeah.
hopefully this will work out okay.
No worries. Where is it you're located?
Outside of Philly, in a suburb
All
outside
right.
of Philly.
Nice. Not too
So
far from here.
where are you?
New York City.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah. So, I
Um,
mean, relatively.
yeah, no, not too far. So all right, so I am in the middle of doing this course called the Evolutionary Healer Circle.
Mhm.
It's going amazingly. It's for
Yay.
healers. I draw people, I attract people. I'm attracted to people who struggle with various forms of codependence.
Hmm.
I mean, as a culture, we're pretty codependent, but a pretty codependent culture. But anyway, so I'm working with healers who I don't need to get into all that. Okay, so
Yeah.
the course is going really, really well.
Yes.
And I'm like thrilled they're getting everything I wanted them to get out of it. I did my blueprint and all of that. So the juice that I'm getting from that is that I want to run this course again.
For sure.
And
Yeah.
I also want to have something for them after this as like to keep building community.
Hmm.
I have
Awesome.
another program called Claiming My Voice. So
Hmm.
for me, it's a general creating community around claiming voice and
Cool.
really supporting people to bring their gifts into the world.
All right.
So my
So what's the
question,
question?
yeah.
Yeah.
So my question is, what do I need? What do I start doing now to get set up to run this course again? You
Hmm.
know, what kind of marketing do I want to do now
Right.
to reach more people, to grow
Hmm.
this course?
All right.
And what do I
Here's
want to set up for the group that's already in it to come next?
right. So for the yeah, the group that's purchased your course to join the membership after is what you're saying. The second question. Is that correct?
Well, the second question is to have something for them. I'm toying with some ideas, but something
Yeah,
that,
yeah. Got it. So yeah, so in order to set up for the next course, two things. Number one, referrals from the people who've taken the course already, right? They've
Mhm,
gotten results. They know people that would benefit from this. So
mhm,
really like model for them that's the thing to do. Like, name three names and that of people that you know who would benefit from this. You can give them email copy that they can just send to their friends so they don't have to think about what to send. Or you can say, hey, just drop their names and email here and I'll reach out if with your permission and say, hey, so and so recommended that you take a look at this, right? And here's what we do for people. So referrals, absolutely.
mhm.
Number two, start teasing, assuming, I mean, you have a list and not everybody bought, right? So start teasing that it's going to open up again. Share testimonials, case studies, success stories from your current cohort. um,
Mhm.
Video, Facebook screenshots from Facebook, just things that people write about how awesome it was, so that you're using that success to build, bring you to the second cohort. If you need fresh people into your list, I would start to look at affiliates. But I think you can get a lot out of just the same email list that you already have, because now you have success stories to build on. They've heard about it before. They were like, oh shit, well, I didn't join the first time, I should have. And then they like more people are going to join. I think you can have a lot of success there, plus the referrals, which are always phenomenal. And then in terms of the continuity, it's really smart, right? So get them into the course, and then there is a community component, an ongoing component, subscription revenue that people get into after. Absolutely genius. You want to get into recurring revenue as soon as possible.
Mhm.
Um, and a good way to do that is just to say, we're going to we're gonna, like, for those that have been part of this group, there's some kind of discount. You're gonna get the first couple of months free in that community program with, so that they enroll, they get the experience, and then you're going to start billing them a little while into it. So, that then you get it started in that way.
You're talking about, when you're talking about continuity, you're talking about a membership site continuity?
I'm just talking about like something where you have an ongoing relationship with your customers, right? So they purchase the course. That's sort of a closed end thing. It has a start and an end date, and it's finite. And now you want to have an ongoing, infinite, forever relationship with them where they pay you monthly or annually.
Right.
And there's some kind of community component, whether that's on some Plero membership site or a Facebook group. There's, ongoing calls or content or whatever will serve them, right?
Yeah.
But,
yeah. So can I ask you one more thing?
Sure.
It's about finances. And I was interested in what you were saying about, like, your mission isn't about making money, but certainly, if that comes along, I'm okay. But
we need the money, right? We need the money to pay the bills and get other people to do work and stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. But I heard you that that's not your main thing. But I'm in a different place in life. I'm turning 50 in a couple weeks. And I'm like, I've spent so much of my life coming from a background as a social worker, not having fire around making money, and feeling like it's time for me to feel,
I love it.
Okay, about earning income for the crazy, amazing, transformational work that I do with people that completely changes their lives. So that's where I'm at. So any encouragement around, so like many of us, I get stuck around asking for more.
Right. Yeah. What's your hang up?
What's my hang up?
Yeah.
Well, it's a little bit of like a universe vicious cycle where I'm attracting people who are like, oh, I can't pay that.
Right.
So it's
because what's the hang up about charging a lot and getting paid and just having abundance in your life and working with people who can pay and setting boundaries? What is the stories like, oh, I can't do that because, or what's the story?
they're not going to come. I'm not going to find them. I know it's deeper than that, but I know it's deeper than that. You're asking me and I'm going,
right. What's your current price point for the course?
It was $4,500 for 6 months.
All right. So what would the next bump up for you be?
I mean, it's just 6,000.
Sure. 10.
I mean, 10,000. That's just wild. Who's gonna pay?
A lot of people.
Yeah. How do I find them?
Right. I mean, I do it routinely, right? 10 grand for a 2-day workshop just a month ago, 20 grand, 30 grand for various communities that I'm a member of, right? I mean, the people are out there, right? And there are people who would never, it's just 4,500 for 6 months of, wild transformation is just so little that they can't take it seriously, right? So they wouldn't buy it. I mean, you really do, raising your prices is the simplest way there is to attract a clientele that honestly is going to be better to work with, right? They're going to be more committed. They're going to be more dedicated. They're going to be, complaining less. They're just going to pay what you ask and no questions. And they're going to do the work, or maybe not, who knows, but generally just it's easier and you get better clients that way. So just raise your price, take a deep breath, and trust in the universe.
How did you make that shift in you to get to that point of being 10,000 for a weekend, and to really trust in your own?
It's been a deliberate process for me. I mean, I actually have a copy of Rob Report over there, which is sort of a classic trick. Robb Report is this magazine for the super wealthy and just like luxury homes and yachts and stuff, which it's just that like Dan Kennedy used to do tours to super affluent neighborhoods in just to like it's that mindset of like, well, if that's the world that you hang out in, then that just becomes normal and natural to you, right? So you want to look at that and just allow yourself to feel what that would feel like. What would it feel like to have that kind of abundance, like private jets and yachts and whatever? You might not be into those things, but what would that look like for you, right? And just even things that you're not necessarily into, just feel what that would feel like. It's not like you're into a private jet. It's just that you happen to have to go somewhere, and like, why wouldn't you fly private? Because you have so much money. Like, it's just the easiest thing, the way to get there, right? So it's that. And then notice when you visualize that, when you imagine that in your head, notice what resistance comes up, and just breathe into it and let it go. And just, don't most of us tend to get fascinated with our blocks and our limitations. And you can go down that path of like the story, and it's because my mom and dad and parents and whatnot. And that can be useful, but you don't want to get to a place where you're arguing for your limitations, right? You want to notice and then release and let go. There's usually my friend Jerry Colana has a book called Reboot: Leadership and the Art of Growing Up, and there's a chapter there on money. His whole take is that leadership is about maturing. It's about growing up as humans. There's a chapter about money, and like, what is that money story that you saw, that you overheard as a kid when you were like sitting at the top of the stairs in your house and your parents were downstairs and they're like, yeah, but money doesn't grow on trees. And like, my parents would say something like, they had a business partner and he was, they were making a lot of money and he was spending a lot of money. And they were like, yeah, they live like, counts and barons and stuff. It was like, that was the, that was the phrase that my dad grew up during. He was like 6 when the Second World War started, and grew up during rationing. And that has impacted his mindset around money. So you want to see what those things are, and then just acknowledge, question your beliefs. Byron Katie's work, the work is phenomenal for that type of thing. Super easy. And then consciously let it go, and then just put yourself in situations. Just do it, right? Just change that price, jack it up, charge that price, feel confident, right? Don't apologize for it. And just roll with it, see what happens,
I hear you loud and clear, and I've definitely been on the path that you're talking about. And I also feel like it's so important for me to do it so I can support other people to do it.
Totally, right? Yeah, you have to model for people.
Yeah.
You have to model for people. Like, and like some of the same clients, and you're like, and they're like, oh, but Jennifer, that's a lot of money and it's too much. And like, who dare you? And they're going to say exactly the things that are going to trigger you the most, right? That's how that works. And then you're just like, you're right. Or I hear where you're coming from. And I used to think that way myself. And here's why I no longer believe that. Or just like, I understand that that's how you see it. I know the values here, and I want to serve you by modeling for you how it's done so you can do the same, right? I've had people that said no to me, and we're just like, here's why. Like, I'm setting this boundary, and I'm like, I'm so glad that you did that, because that teaches me I can say no to people as well in those situations, right? So yeah, show up and serve.
Okay, thanks.
You bet. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. It's so important that we get paid, that we get paid what we're worth, right? So that we can feel really good about serving people, about doing the work out there, right? It's not about ego. It's really not about ego. It's not about like greed or like any of that stuff. It's just about what's a fair exchange of energy here. And it's a completely subjective thing. It's down to you. You get to choose, right? No one else can be the judge of that. They may choose, like they can choose to engage or not, right? But is it fair? It's totally up to you. You get to choose.
Okay, thanks so much.
You bet. Thank you, Jennifer.
I'm taking that in.
Cool. I'm glad you
Yeah.
asked that. Thank you so much
Let
for
it-
being here.
let
Really
it
appreciate you,
marinate.
Jennifer.
Yeah, exactly.
That was awesome, Jennifer. Thank you so much.
What up, YouTube? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, even if you freaking didn't, hit the subscribe button so you get more videos from me, and also hit the bell button so you get tick, 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 notified whenever there is a new video from me. Thank you very much. I'll catch you next time.